What if I told you that the chaos, the setbacks, and even the failures you face every day are not just obstacles, but opportunities? Bold claim, right? But here's the thing. Resilience isn't some magical trait you're either born with or without. It's a skill, a muscle you can strengthen, and the Stoics, ancient philosophers who thrived in the face of adversity, perfected the art of building it. So, if you've ever felt overwhelmed, like life keeps throwing punches you weren't ready for, this is the video for you. We're diving deep into how to not just survive life's challenges, but thrive because of them. And yes, we're going to flip some conventional wisdom on its head. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll walk away with practical, proven strategies from the Stoics themselves. Strategies that you can start using today to transform every obstacle into fuel for your growth. Ready to unlock your inner resilience? Let's get into it. Number 1. Embrace voluntary discomfort. Have you ever noticed how much effort we put into avoiding discomfort? We crank up the heat the moment it's a little chilly, scroll through social media to dodge boredom, or binge our favorite shows to escape the stress of the day. But what if I told you that leaning into discomfort, not running from it, might be the most powerful way to build resilience and take control of your life? Sounds counterintuitive, right? Stay with me on this, because I promise it's not as crazy as it sounds. Think about it. We've all had moments where we were caught completely off guard by life's challenges. Maybe it was a sudden deadline at work, an argument with a loved one, or a rejection that left you feeling unsteady. And in those moments, it's easy to wish we were stronger, more composed, or less affected. We've all been there. But here's the thing, strength doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Like a muscle, it grows when you intentionally work it. And the gym for resilience? It's discomfort. So here's the idea. Embrace voluntary discomfort. I'm not asking you to go out and make your life miserable. That's not the point. But intentionally adding small doses of discomfort into your routine can train your mind to face challenges head-on. Try taking a cold shower, skipping that fancy latte for a week, or walking instead of driving, even when it's inconvenient. These aren't just random annoyances, they're calculated moments to prove to yourself, I can handle this. Why? Because when you do hard things on purpose, the hard things life throws at you don't feel as impossible. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Cold showers. Really? Isn't that just a trend people talk about on podcasts? Believe me, I get it. I was skeptical too. But let me tell you a story. A while back, I decided to try this out myself. One morning, instead of my usual hot shower, I turned the knob all the way to cold. The first blast of icy water was, let's be honest, pure torture. My body tensed and every instinct screamed, "Get out!" But then something interesting happened. I took a deep breath, stayed in the moment, and focused on calming my mind. And guess what? The discomfort faded. Not only did I survive, but I walked out of that shower feeling invincible. It was like I had proven to myself that I could endure something tough and come out stronger on the other side. The beauty of voluntary discomfort is that it's not about punishment, it's about empowerment. It's about teaching yourself that you can survive temporary pain and that you're tougher than you think. This isn't just about cold showers or fasting. It's about reclaiming your inner strength. When you choose discomfort, you're saying, I'm in control. And that confidence, it spills over into every part of your life. So here's the takeaway. Don't run from discomfort. Embrace it. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how your mind begins to shift. This is about more than resilience. It's about proving to yourself, day by day, that no challenge is too big for you. And when life inevitably throws curveballs your way, you'll already have the strength to knock them out of the park. You've got this. Number 2. Challenge emotional attachment. Let's be honest, we're all a little too attached to something, aren't we? Maybe it's your phone. You feel a twinge of panic if it's not within reach. Or that favorite coffee mug you swear makes your mornings better. Or perhaps it's even a person, someone whose opinion, presence or approval feels essential to your peace of mind. Here's the thing, attachments aren't inherently bad. They bring us comfort and joy. But when you're too attached, that's when it starts to control you instead of the other way around. So let's talk about something radical. What if you challenge those emotional attachments? Now I get it. The mere thought of detaching from something or someone you care about might feel uncomfortable. You might be thinking, but isn't that just cold and distant? Isn't attachment part of being human? Yes, of course it is. But what I'm suggesting isn't about becoming a robot. It's about balance. Because when your happiness, your sense of self, or your peace depends entirely on something external, you're giving away your power. And here's the kicker. Life is unpredictable. Things break, people leave, situations change. Learning to loosen your grip doesn't mean you care less. It means you care smarter. We've all been there. You know the feeling when your phone battery dies and you feel a weird mix of anxiety and emptiness? Or when you can't find that one item you're sure you need to function. It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's the twist. When you start to let go of the need, you gain something far more valuable: freedom. Because emotional attachment, while comforting, can also be a subtle form of captivity. So here's the challenge. Identify one thing you're a little too attached to. Maybe it's your phone, that Netflix series, or even your partner's constant validation. Now, take a step back, start small. If it's your phone, leave it in another room for an hour. If it's a person, give yourself permission not to text them back right away. And yes, it'll feel uncomfortable at first. That's the point. Because in that discomfort lies growth. You're teaching yourself that you're whole and capable without the constant reassurance of that attachment. Let me share a quick story. A while back, I realized I was ridiculously attached to this old watch. It wasn't even expensive, but I wore it every day, convinced it was my lucky charm. One day, I accidentally left it at home. At first, I felt naked, almost panicked, as if something vital was missing. But then something clicked. I realized it wasn't the watch that made me lucky. It was me. That day, I crushed my work presentation, had an unexpectedly great conversation with a stranger, and came home feeling lighter. The watch? Just an accessory. The real magic was never in it. It was in my own mindset. Challenging emotional attachment is about reclaiming that mindset. It's about reminding yourself that you're not defined by the things you own or the people you rely on. You're stronger, more independent, and more resilient than you realize. This isn't about cutting ties. It's about loosening knots, giving yourself room to breathe, and finding strength in your own presence. So here's my takeaway for you. Try it. Test your attachments. Push back gently but firmly. Because this is about more than letting go. It's about taking back your power. Your happiness, your peace, and your sense of self don't belong in someone else's hands or in the grip of a thing. They belong to you. And once you embrace that, you'll find that the world feels a little lighter and you feel a whole lot stronger. Number 3, adopt the negative visualization. Habit. Let me ask you something. How often do you avoid thinking about bad things happening? Losing your job, falling out with a friend, or, heaven forbid, losing something or someone important to you? It's natural. We're wired to shy away from unpleasant thoughts. But what if I told you that thinking about those worst-case scenarios on purpose could actually improve your life? Sounds strange, right? Stay with me. because this little twist on how you view the world might just be the key to feeling more grateful, resilient, and prepared for anything life throws your way. We've all had moments where something went wrong and it completely blindsided us. Maybe you forgot an important meeting and your boss called you out. Or you hit a financial snag and suddenly your plans unraveled. It's that sinking, stomach-dropping moment of, I wasn't ready for this. But here's the thing, life is unpredictable, and pretending bad things won't happen doesn't protect you from them. It just makes it hurt more when they do. We've all been there, caught off guard, scrambling to cope, wishing we'd seen it coming. This is where the habit of negative visualization comes in. It's an ancient Stoic practice, but it's as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Here's the idea. Take a few moments each day to imagine things going wrong, not in a panicky, anxiety-driven way, but calmly, like a mental rehearsal. Picture your flight being cancelled. Imagine a tough conversation with your partner. Visualize misplacing your wallet or your phone. At first, it might feel unsettling, like you're tempting fate. But trust me, it's not about being pessimistic. It's about training your mind to handle the unexpected with grace. Let me share a story. A few months ago, I started incorporating this into my morning routine. One day, I imagined my car breaking down on the way to work. I pictured myself stranded, annoyed, and late for an important meeting. Then, I imagined how I'd handle it, calling a tow truck, letting my team know I'd be late, and keeping my cool instead of spiraling. That same week, my car actually did break down, no kidding. And you know what? It didn't rattle me. I already knew what to do, and I handled it like it was no big deal. What could have been a stressful, chaotic morning turned into just another bump in the road, literally and figuratively. Here's why this works. When you practice negative visualization, you're rewiring your brain. You stop fearing the unknown because it's not unknown anymore. You've already imagined the scenarios, faced them in your mind, and decided how you'd respond. And there's another bonus. When you imagine losing the things you love, a job, a relationship, even simple comforts, you gain a deeper appreciation for them. Suddenly, that mundane workday or that quiet evening at home feels like a gift. This isn't about living in fear or dwelling on negativity. It's about reclaiming control over how you respond to life. It's about preparing your mind and strengthening your resolve so that when challenges come, and they will, you're ready. This practice isn't about avoiding pain. It's about building resilience and gratitude in the face of it. So here's my challenge for you. Try it. Tomorrow morning, or maybe right now, take 5 minutes to think about one thing that could go wrong. Picture it, feel the discomfort, and then imagine how you'd handle it. You'll realize that the idea of the problem is often scarier than the problem itself. And when you do this consistently, you'll find yourself feeling less reactive, more grounded, and surprisingly thankful for the things you might have taken for granted. This isn't just about preparing for the worst. It's about appreciating the best. When you adopt the habit of negative visualization, you reclaim your peace of mind, your gratitude, and your strength. Because life's challenges won't stop coming, but with this mindset, neither will your ability to face them head-on. Number 4, master the art of controlled anger. Here's something no one likes to admit. Anger isn't all bad. I know, it's been painted as the villain of emotions, something we're told to suppress, control, or just breathe through. But here's the twist. Anger, when handled right, can be one of your greatest tools. It's raw energy, pure drive, and if you learn to channel it, it can help you solve problems, set boundaries, and even inspire action. So let's stop trying to erase anger and instead master it. Think of it like fire. Uncontrolled, it burns everything down, but when you direct it, it lights the way. We've all had moments where anger has gotten the better of us. You know the type. A rude coworker says something snarky and you snap back without thinking, or someone cuts you off in traffic and before you know it, you're laying on the horn like it's a symphony. Then comes the regret. Why did I let myself get so worked up? Anger feels good in the moment, but the aftermath, not so much. That's where the problem lies. It's not the anger itself, it's how we use it, or rather, how we don't use it. Now here's the trick. Controlled anger. It's not about bottling it up or pretending you're calm when you're fuming inside. It's about feeling the anger, pausing just long enough to redirect it, and then letting it work for you instead of against you. Why does this work? Because anger, at its core, is a signal. It's your body's way of saying, something here isn't right, fix it. Ignoring that signal doesn't make it go away. It just turns it inward, which is even worse. Learning to control it means you acknowledge the message without letting it hijack your entire system. Let me tell you about a time I learned this lesson the hard way. A few months ago, I was working on a group project, and one person just wasn't pulling their weight. Every time I saw another half-done task from them, my blood boiled. One day, I almost sent a scathing email calling them out, but something stopped me. Instead, I stepped away, cooled down, and thought about what I really wanted. It wasn't to embarrass them, it was to get the project moving. So I rewrote the email, politely but firmly outlining what needed to change. The result? They stepped up, and the project turned out great. If I'd gone with my first reaction, I would have burned a bridge instead of building one. Controlled anger isn't about denying how you feel, it's about using it intentionally. Instead of yelling in frustration, speak with clarity. Instead of lashing out, take action. The pause between your emotion and your response is where the magic happens. You don't need to suppress your anger, you need to refine it, shape it into something useful. Here's what this really comes down to. Power. Controlled anger gives you power over situations, power over people who try to provoke you, and most importantly, power over yourself. It's about reclaiming your dignity in moments when it feels like the world is trying to take it away. You're not just reacting, you're choosing how to respond. And that choice, that's strength. So the next time you feel your temper rising, don't fight it. Pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what's this anger trying to tell me, and how can I use it constructively? Because this isn't about avoiding anger, it's about mastering it. And when you do, you'll find that your fire doesn't just burn, it fuels you. Your strength, your resolve, and your peace all depend on how you wield it. Number 5. Ruthlessly audit your comfort zone. Let's face it, your comfort zone is a liar. It whispers sweet nothings about safety and predictability, convincing you that staying right where you are is the best idea. And you know what? Sometimes it's right, like when it keeps you from petting a wild animal or attempting parkour on your lunch break. But here's the hard truth. Most of the time, your comfort zone isn't protecting you. It's limiting you. It's a glass ceiling disguised as a safety net. So, what if I told you the secret to breaking through isn't just to step outside of it, it's to ruthlessly audit it? Now, you might be thinking, audit it? Like I'm an accountant for my life choices. Yes, exactly. Think of your comfort zone as a budget. What are you spending your energy and time on? Are those investments giving you returns, or are they just keeping you comfortably stuck? The thing is, we all build habits and routines that feel good but stop serving us after a while. You know the type. Taking the same route to work every day, avoiding tough conversations because they're awkward, or binge watching shows instead of working on that passion project. We've all been there, clinging to familiarity like it's a security blanket. But here's the twist. The blanket is suffocating your growth. So here's the strategy. Get brutally honest with yourself. Start by listing out the parts of your life that feel safe, your routines, your habits, the way you react to challenges. Then, one by one, ask yourself, is this helping me or holding me back? And here's where it gets uncomfortable, because some of the things that feel the safest are actually anchors. That weekly brunch with friends, amazing for connection, but if it's avoiding bigger conversations about your dreams, it's time to tweak it. That job you're great at but hate, it might be time to rethink how long you're staying. Let me give you an example. A few years ago, I realized I was living in a bubble. I went to the same coffee shop, had the same conversations, and took the same approach to my work. It was comfortable, sure, but also kind of boring. One day, on a whim, I signed up for a public speaking class. Let me tell you, it was terrifying. I fumbled through my first speech, forgot half of what I wanted to say, and felt my face turn tomato red. But you know what happened? I survived, and not just that, I got better. That one step outside my comfort zone didn't just improve my speaking skills, it boosted my confidence in ways I never expected. This isn't about shaming yourself for what feels safe. It's about recalibrating your comfort zone so it supports your growth instead of holding you hostage. When you audit it, you don't just step outside of it randomly. You make calculated choices about what stays and what goes. You're not burning down the whole house, you're remodeling it to better suit the person you're becoming. Here's the beauty of this process. Every time you push the boundaries of your comfort zone, it gets bigger. What once felt terrifying starts to feel like second nature. You realize that the fear of discomfort is almost always worse than the discomfort itself. And with every new challenge, you prove to yourself that you're capable of so much more than you thought. So, ask yourself this: what in your comfort zone isn't serving you anymore? What's the one thing you can do today that makes you just a little uncomfortable but has the potential to open up something bigger? Because this isn't about recklessness, it's about calculated risk. It's about trading comfort for growth, fear for opportunity, and stagnation for momentum. Your comfort zone can be your launch pad, not your prison. It's time to audit it, ruthlessly and unapologetically. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Number 6. View criticism as a mirror. Here's a thought that might make you pause. What if every piece of criticism you've ever received wasn't about tearing you down, but about showing you something you might not see in yourself? Yes, I know, it's not easy to swallow. Criticism often feels like a slap when you were expecting a handshake. But what if, instead of treating it like an attack, you started seeing it as a mirror? A reflection, not of your flaws, but of perspectives you might not have considered yet. Now, before you roll your eyes, hear me out. We've all been there. Someone points out something about us, and immediately our defenses go up. Maybe it's a colleague saying, "You could be more organized," or a friend casually mentioning, "You interrupt a lot during conversations." Your gut reaction? Denial. What? Me? That's not true. But deep down, there's a small, uncomfortable part of you wondering, could it be? And that discomfort, that's where the magic happens. Criticism, when you strip away the tone or delivery, is just information. It's someone holding up a mirror and saying, "This is how I see you." And no, they might not always be right. Sometimes the mirror is warped by their own biases or projections. But sometimes, more often than we'd like to admit, it's offering a glimpse of something we'd benefit from examining. The trick is learning to separate the valuable insights from the noise. Think about it. How often do we really get a clear picture of ourselves? We live in our heads, seeing the world from our perspective, rarely stepping back to view how others might experience us. Criticism, even when it stings, can be that step back. It's like someone pointing out a piece of spinach stuck in your teeth. Not pleasant, but ultimately helpful. Let me tell you about a time this hit home for me. A mentor once told me, "You need to stop over-explaining your ideas. It makes you seem unsure of yourself." At first, I was offended. Over-explaining. I was just being thorough. But later, I replayed conversations in my head and realized they were right. My need to justify everything wasn't just unnecessary, it was draining for both me and the people listening. That one piece of criticism, though tough to hear, helped me develop a more confident communication style. The key is to approach criticism with curiosity, not defensiveness. When someone offers feedback, ask yourself, is there truth in this? If so, what can I learn from it? And even if the criticism feels unfair, there's often still something to gain. Maybe it's a chance to understand someone else's perspective or to build thicker skin. Either way, the mirror serves a purpose. This isn't about letting every piece of feedback define you. It's about being open enough to grow, but discerning enough to know when to brush it off. Not every reflection is accurate, but the act of looking, of truly seeing yourself from another angle, is where transformation begins. At the end of the day, this is about owning your growth. It's about reclaiming criticism as a tool, not a weapon, because when you view criticism as a mirror, you stop being afraid of it. Instead, you start seeing it as an opportunity to refine, to evolve, and to show up as the best version of yourself. So the next time someone offers feedback, take a deep breath and look in the mirror. You might just like what you see on the other side. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope this video gave you some valuable insights and practical tools to start building your resilience, just like the Stoics. If you found it helpful, please don't forget to like the video. It really helps support the channel and ensures we can keep bringing you more content like this. And if you want more practical wisdom on how to navigate life with strength and purpose, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Also, if you know someone who could use a little more resilience in their life, share this video with them. Let's spread the power of Stoic thinking. I'd love to hear your thoughts, whether you've tried any of these strategies before or how you've built your own resilience. Drop a comment below and join the conversation. We're all in this together, learning and growing. Remember, life is full of challenges, but it's how you respond to them that makes all the difference. Keep building, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay stoic.